Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. This will be a meeting, special meeting of the Board of Directors, which was scheduled for May 6th, being held today, April 24th, in order to have business expedited necessary at this time.
I'll have the invocation, Sister Kristen.
God our Father, bless us as we gather here this afternoon. Guide us in our deliberations and our decisions. We ask you to continue your guidance and protection in behalf of the efforts of our organization. We ask these things in Christ's name. Amen.
May we have a roll call, please? Mrs. Armstrong. Miss English. Miss Lott. Miss Wallace here. Sister Kristen here. Miss Gamage here. Miss Garland here. Miss Graves. Miss Rittenhouse here. Miss Wells here. Miss Burns here. Miss Fitzpatrick here. Miss Smith.
She called and asked to be excused. She had to get off for 2 meetings, and she couldn't make it the third.
Miss Langford. Miss Hanson here. Miss Lewis. There's Miss Atkins. Thank you. We do have a quorum. The minutes of the March the 10th meeting have been circulated. Are there any corrections or additions? Hearing none, they are approved as circulated. I don't have any particular communications at this time. I think anything I might have to say will come up in the as we go through the meeting today. I would like to explain the reason for calling this special meeting. I'm quite sure that you could have had a board meeting without me, but I was selfish enough that I wanted to be present at this meeting, since it really is the last one before the annual meeting. And another thing too, I think it would be a little bit hard on Ms. English, your first vice president, you know, to preside. Not that she doesn't know how, I don't mean that, but not having been in the seat all along. So I do appreciate your coming. I appreciate the fact that we can have a quorum and can take care of the business that we need to take care of this afternoon. Does the Secretary have a report? The report of the Treasurer.
As you probably know, we're in the process of transferring over to the National Bank of Georgia, so that shows up in the report. And the balance brought forth from February in the Citizens and Southern Bank was $1,401.33, and $1,000 was in the National Bank of Georgia at that time. And the receipts for the month of March, the membership dues was $1,977.77, and AJN subscriptions $24, and this totaled $2,001.77, and this was deposited into the National Bank of Georgia. And the remaining of the $1,401.33 in Citizens in Southern was used for the following disbursements. Rent $71, salary $515.72, telephone $54.99, printing $74.16, postage and mailing $80, supplies and operational $121.16, subscriptions AJN, $21, payroll taxes $158.80, and miscellaneous $100.75, and the total disbursements was $1,197.58. And clear in the Citizens and Southern after these disbursements was $203.75, and checks out was $75.01. This agrees with the bank statement of $278.76. And in the National Bank of Georgia, we have $3,001.77. And also in the Atlanta Federal Savings, we have deposited there an account of $1,522.12.
Are there any questions? Now to be filed for audit. We'll have a report of the executive secretary this afternoon.
I won't give you any other report except to tell you that we did get the membership list broken down, and then this morning, just before noon, we did receive another report, and out of that group were 58 sections total on that. It was a check for $338.55. I think some of them just realized how little we get out of some of those dues on those new graduates and all, $1.69 if they're on installments and so forth. But of the group that made payment, there was 70 ATC, general duty 20, 13 private duty, and 9 for nursing service. Now, of the 9, 2 of them were second installments, so actually 5 in all who were clear members, full members. And then occupational health 1, office 1, public health 6, school nursing, which should be changed to public health, making the payment total of 58 members. Of course, we will not have that many to add to our list. As you see, we are 827 actual members up until this report came in from A&A. Now, graded payroll has 39, and of course they'll be added later after they are cleared. And we have a little report of 16 that's been prepared over the weekend. I took it out Friday, but of course it will have to clear through there. We still don't have 1,000 members, and we had hoped to have more.
Thank you. Mary, do you want to say anything about bylaws?
I have no report. Does anybody have anything that might need the attention of the bylaws committee?
Okay. Ethical, legal, and professional standards, Ms. Wells.
I received a good bit of information from our executive secretary, and one of our instructresses, who is a sister in civilian dress, I cannot call her name right this minute, but I work with her all the time.
Jane Campion?
Campion. And she is very interested, having been on that committee in the state of Minnesota, and she has my literature right now, and we do hope to get the committee together and have a meeting as soon as we both have time to review it.
Thank you. Ms. Rittenhouse, anything new in legislation?
Nothing other than the status of the bill is 964. If you don't know, I'm sure that you by now are familiar with what happened. If not, it did pass the House and had 2 readings in the Senate, and it's tabled until next session, which will be in January 7th.
I do know that membership promotion and program have had 2 meetings, I believe. I was not able to attend the last, but Ms. Atkins was there. Would you like to report on it?
Well, what they plan to do, Anna Laura Crawford was one that made the suggestion on that we have absolutely going to have a block-busting membership promotion program. And that's what they plan to do during the week that we ordinarily have for our nurse week, although they did set the meeting date, the program meeting date, as being on the 8th of May. And we did engage, and we are very happy that Sister Christian says that we can have it over at St. Joseph's. The plans have not been made definitely for that. We're hoping to have an open house or some type of program and have the membership people come in and report on it. Now, what they asked me to do was get the state board to give us a list. Absolutely impossible to get a list for 2 months because they're setting up an addressograph for their roster. And as you saw me with my addressograph a few minutes ago, even with our little files, and it's been taking me nearly all of last week, and I'm still two more sections and a little one to finish. But what we plan to do is take the cards of all the members who did not join, and the state will send me all the new members to add to the list they gave me that joined during last year, the State Board of Examiners, who have registered. And we did send out 325, and what they plan to do is to break them down according to zones, and just everybody get to work on it, and see if we can have a house-to-house canvas. Now, how much they're going to be able to do, I don't know, but Miss Crawford is to come to the office in the morning to see about getting out a letter, what type of letter they want to write, and the committee will be meeting on the 29th, in which they will get the plans finalized. I was thinking, some of you probably saw this little one from Emory, that if we've got some attractive little folder, we'll have to, in our May communications there, try to make it pay dividends there, because it takes about $60 worth, and half of our membership of 2 sections have not joined, the private duty and the NSA. You notice that one there. We have only 160 of the private duty. We know why they didn't join. 160, and we used to have 500. Now the NSA are holding out on account of the economic security program. Some of the people, like Miss Rosa Cran, has not joined. Miss Alt hasn't joined. I'm merely mentioning these names because they are people in key positions, and they have told us that we couldn't set up booths in some of the hospitals, or they said that not in Crawford Long, that according to the report, that we would not be allowed to set a recruitment booth there. But the girls thought, well, we'll set one up uptown here, maybe.
According to whose report?
Well, 2 members at the meeting said that they had asked about setting up a booth at Crawford Long, and they said no.
For membership?
Mm-hmm. Not this year.
Carolyn.
Not this year. That's
I
right.
don't think they.
And the same thing in Grady. They feel that other program there, and that they have been
I'll
told.
check on that, because I believe you could. I really do.
Hope you do.
No, this is directly from Ms. Cole.
What?
All right.
So, I thought maybe we could, I don't know what she'll plan to send out, but every effort will be made. And I did call ANA the very next morning, ask them to send me a list for $6. We could get a list of all of our membership last year, which would give me the cards to break down with telephone numbers. Although you have a big changeover of addresses, you could chase the telephone number through the directory. And that would give us all of the membership last year that didn't renew to have their telephone group. But at any rate, they were to send me a list of this year, a delinquent list, and they're supposed to charge us $6 for it. Well, we could make all kinds of copies from that, and it'd be cheaper than having somebody to type it up for us, even at $6. Then this morning, I thought the list would be here, and I'd bring it to you, and what did I get but a nice long letter. He sent me 2,000 of the, this is the application forms. We're going to have to print inside on the offset the amount of dues, which we've already had to do. It takes 3 weeks to get them done, so they wouldn't come in time for May 8th, so I'll have to take them out this week and get it done as we did previously and get them ready. And then here came a letter this morning giving me a code, a letter Friday saying as soon as the green sheet came from A&A, send it back. I'm not supposed to have a green sheet, whatever it is. And then this morning, here's another list on here. You'll be receiving your galley in 2 to 3 weeks. So I'm afraid that is not going to help us. So I got 4 directories, rosters from the state, and I'm gonna take them all on one page and come down and separate them according to the zones. And that's the only thing I know to do is just click it out of the roster, and then on the other side I'll mark them with a different color and get those. And, but they will get to work on it, so you'll be hearing more about recruitment during May, first week of May.
I believe the 2 committees do plan to meet again the 29th and to finalize the plans for this. Thank you, Ms. Atkins. Ms. Garland, has anything exciting happened in the area-wide?
No, I
planning?
think that has just about completed its job. At least Bob Wells said he didn't think we'd have to have many more meetings. We hadn't had one since our last meeting, so there's nothing else to report.
Thank you. As far as Model Cities is concerned, they're going on with their Lisa Model Cities health program is going on as if they're going to be funded. There is a meeting tomorrow night, I believe, with some tech students who have surveyed the area and are not really proposing sites for the health building which they plan to build, provided the money is forthcoming. But these students do it as part of their classroom work, and they have surveyed the area, and they will give it to the site committee of Model Cities. Whether they accept any part of it or not, I don't know. And then there's a meeting of the board Thursday night. And I don't know anything too much that they are doing because, of course, whether or not they get the money to do it with is another thing. Report of sections, Mrs. Burns.
We will not meet again until May. And we do have a meeting, follow-up meeting of our other meetings with CDC doing a project for us in communications and involving the membership in it. There will be a 4th one since we did go on quarterly meetings. And we have an executive committee meeting planned for within the next month sometime. We just sort of have these almost a call meeting at which time we're going to work on recruitment for one thing within our own bailiwick, plus what we can do with students. I did have one student come to me last week with an application that her father had brought her. He's a physician who wanted her to join right as soon as she graduated, and she was trying to tell him she had to get registered first.
We got one that hadn't registered out at the Cab General this year, so maybe things are on the upgrade.
Sounds mighty fine. Thank you, Ms. Burns.
Madam President, before we go any further, I want to tell you that these are on this list on the back on here is a list that would be nice to have the board to approve. The membership committee has not met and does not have this, but these are all on Grady payroll, so they're in good standing. Oh, yes, it's on the back, should be. Got plenty of them.
I didn't go far enough.
Yes. These were, we just gotten them all confirmed and got a check for some of them on Friday on that,
Well,
if you'd like to
if we can,
say that.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that, but if we might, well, we can go ahead and then take it up as business, okay? We won't forget it. The administrators, Ms. Fitzpatrick.
Well, we had a very
sparse attendance at our last meeting, which was somewhat of a shock. We have had such good programs. Ms. Nell Woodhull has been our program chairman, and we've had excellent programs, worthwhile speakers. We had only 9 in attendance, and we usually have around 25 or more. And I certainly feel very, well, I feel a little bit depressed to think that we have 100 members in our section who have not renewed, and I am certainly going to do something at least to get in touch with some of those that I feel could help us, the ones who have not renewed. I really, I'm just surprised. There may be a difference of opinion, but I don't, personally, maybe I have a difference too, but I certainly feel that I owe my organization my support. And I want everybody else to feel that way, and that is what I hope to get across to them. And our secretary, Miss Joanne Goodson, has not been in the best of health, so she has been absent several times, and she was not present either at the last meeting. And I believe neither was she in February. So we've had a little difficulty in that respect. And
Well, I'd like
I
to say,
just hope that we can encourage these delinquent members to come forward.
I'd like to say I certainly appreciate the attitude that you have expressed, and also Ms. Burns has expressed about membership, and I do hope that we can all work toward bringing this organization back together.
Well,
Thank
it's
you.
unthinkable that it should not be in a fine organization and to represent the professional nurses we'd like her to. Of course, if all sections do not participate and do their share, we can't hope to be strong.
Right. Mrs. Smith is not here from general duty. Did she send a report?
She sent in some minutes. They had about 8 of them had a meeting at Crawford Lawn. And in fact, she sent us a letter in here, and she wanted to know if they were going to be responsible for the $10 per member and what she was going to do about it. And also, she made one statement that I think this group would be interested in, that to a new member, that it was so overwhelming. And I think maybe some of us ought to do a little bit more here to try to bring our new members in. If the letter's here, I've just had it, but I knew it'd get away from me. At any rate, she had asked for a list to be broken down for her, and that they would set them up a telephoning committee. And she was quite concerned about the fact that they only had 8. And I feel that when the directors, by the very fact they don't join, they are condoning a program whether they agree with it or not by them not joining, or setting the example for the general duty nurse. It makes it even more difficult for us to get that section reactivated. She says she feels that she couldn't go any further until she got a list, and beginning to feel that she's knocking her head against a brick wall. I have a few names of girls who are interested in the organization, but I hesitate to place their names in the 5th District ballot. I need them for prospective officers for our group. I thought you'd enjoy that. They are also just starting in A&E and need to get into this gradually, I believe. This organization is overwhelming to a newcomer. I don't know how we're going to get $10 for the building fund from members we never see at meetings. Am I responsible for the general duty section? As soon as I get a list from you, I'm going to begin writing personal letters to all the members. Sincerely yours, Gail Smith. And at the beginning, it just said she enclosed the minutes, and then if she could give me the breakdown on the others.
Well, I feel like thank God there's people like Gail Smith and Mildred Burns and Catherine Fitzpatrick that are really working so hard to bring members into the organization and taking it very
I got
seriously.
2 back.
Good.
Application form, say if anybody'd like to have them in the little envelopes.
Ms. Langford isn't here yet, I understand. She will be coming in later. Public Health, Mrs. Hanson.
We had a real good meeting out at DeKalb General. DeKalb Health Department, DeKalb County Health Department. What was it, the 12th of April? Anyway, our April meeting. And we had Chastain Howell talked about home care and the program that they are doing with the health aides. Was real good. We had a good attendance. And we did announce those that were at the last meeting, district meeting, because I thought they really should know the highlights of the activities. And 1 or 2 of them made some reports of the action that the convention was being invited here this year, and about the $10 request for $10 for the building fund. And of course we made a plea for more members too. Catherine Aiken is the chairman of our Rules Committee, and she and her committee have set up a first draft of the revision to conform to the state and to this district, and they will be submitted as soon as Ms. Aiken gets back from a vacation. I found that on checking with the nominating committee about memberships, that the chairman that was elected chairman of the nominating committee for the public health section was not a member yet this year. She's going to school, and I asked Ms. Howell to ask her to call me. She called the other night and she said, "Well, Ms. Hanson, I haven't paid my dues yet." And I said, "Oh me, that's just a tragedy. You can't resign on that. You have to pay your dues and come on and do it." She was trying to get out of it, but she finally said that she would. I said, "We need you more than ever if we're going to entertain GSNA this year, and look at our membership. If you're ever going to join, it's more past time to join." So she said she would, and she consented to stay on as chairman of the nominating committee, so we can get, our election will be in August. I think one of the nice things is the program committee has been real nice, real good about good programs, and this next program, June program, will be back at Fulton County Health Department auditorium or conference room, and we're having this Dr. what's his name, Roberts, down at M&I program on adolescent pregnancies. Dr. Waters.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Waters. And I think that many of you would probably be interested in coming. You don't have to be a public health nurse to come to our programs. The section programs, you're always welcome. It's the second Thursday in each month, in every other month.
Which, is it next month that is? Next month?
And,
June.
well, this
June.
is April, May, June.
Second
Mhm.
Thursday in June.
I understand there is an institute next
This
week
week,
on the same topic,
Wednesday and Thursday.
and it's certainly something that we're all interested in, and we sure hope that some of you will be able to come and hear
I have
Dr.
several
Waters.
students who will be new graduates then, and they're interested in this area, so I'd like
Mhm.
to tell them about it.
That'll be the second Thursday in June.
Thank you. Just looking at the resume of membership, public health has a higher number of,
I believe you reported a few more
in public health,
Yes, you had 45 out of the first 110 that we approved, so that shows that theirs definitely has increased.
188 plus, how many did you?
Whatever, well, I don't know that these are all members, they may be second installments, you
Oh.
see, the ones that I got in today. I can't tell you until I have time to look at that card, and it was, I guess, nearly noon.
Well,
this
we
morning.
really should have more than that.
You've got 6 payments. Well, I can tell you, here it is. 3 of them were full payments, 3 of them were second payments on that, and then there was a school nurse on here, and she's making her first payment. So you see why it's so confusing trying to keep them down.
I think it'd be real good if Ms. Atkins could come to the next section, public health section meeting, because it does, I think, stimulate us a lot. Ms. Armstrong wasn't there the last time, but you're always invited, and
Thank you.
if you get around to it, I'd like to have you come.
Well, talking about the A&A card here, on this, the person I mentioned a while ago's name was Shirley. You know, she sent me back this card on here. You see, I had to check membership, and I told her on here I did not find your 1969 A&A card. Have you renewed? If not, please do, as we need you. And she says, I have 2 cards, so I'm sending you one. And she says on here, and I do not have the card now from A&A. That's why I say if we have a list, then that list is much more accurate to me, because these cards stick.
Even A&A.
And some of you know that I
Somebody
lost
said
35
that.
last week, and I spent 3 days with the coat hanging on my knees in that file. Well, I finally found them. They had rolled up under the roller, so I like a list. But anyhow, they say expiration date, October '69. Now, how that can be October '69, I don't know. We're not on flexible membership.
Is that
Unless
Sally,
it's one of-
Shirley?
When they
Unless
paid
she's
A&A.
doing it on 2nd and 3rd installment. Now, I'll have to check. I don't have a card, but when I get a card, I can check on that.
Well, she's one we talked with at the
Mhm.
meeting, and I
Mhm.
think she was gonna pay on installments.
Is that it? Well, maybe she's already paid 1 or 2 of her installments, which would take her to
Yeah,
October.
'cause that, it would
So,
have been, you know,
But
3,
we
4
have
months
not
ago.
received her card from A&A, and incidentally, 1/3 of them don't have the Northeast on it or apartments on them. And when I talked to them in New York, he said, send them all back. I know for a fact, in my building, even with the apartments, new postman have put it in the basement where there are no apartments. And I know for another fact, you had a new person, area director in Red Cross. We sent it to her, we didn't have the apartment number, and it came back to the office. They didn't even bother to look up the apartment. So when I get through, this is the most important thing I can do right now, is to get your directory out. Of course, some of you may not know we're working on that, but we are. We've already sold one ad, and the other one we would have gotten if we'd had time to wait on it. The day we had the holiday, and we feel sure we get that. But at any rate, about 1/3 of them will go back to NA, and so next year, if any of you, if you come up without the northeast, southwest, or apartment number, or whatever it is, and unfortunately, one of our sisters doesn't have sister on there, head of your hospital here. And I'm going to certainly try to get that changed, but they say they can only use abbreviations. I'm taking too much time, but I did want to explain to you that Sally Shirley was the one. Now, if Miss Rosa Cram or some of the others have renewed and we haven't received the card, then that's all we can do.
If we may go back now and about the members whose names are on this card.
I'd like to ask a question. From the last board meeting, you did write a letter to the private duty nurses, didn't you?
We sent them a card. We pulled the cards, and the card went out to the group. I had it here just a minute ago. Here it is now. Reach back, excuse me. I thought she was gonna retype it for me, but anyhow, in fact, I did them red so she would. But anyhow, Ms. Monaco sent the card for me, and I sent me one so I'd be sure it went out.
Well, they have
And,
not reorganized.
Saying all officers had resigned and please attend a meeting which is coming up Thursday.
Oh.
Madam President,
Yes,
I wonder if I could make a little comment right at this point.
yes, ma'am.
In planning our program for our last meeting, I was supposed to contact NSA section for, a speaker to the panel, and also private duty section for a speaker from private duty section. And I talked to 2 or 3 people, and I talked to one person, and she promised to speak for the private duty section. And I saw her the day of our meeting. She did not tell me that she would not be there. She just didn't come. And then I just really didn't want to lose contact because she's a good person. I mean, I like her a lot. But I really wanted to know what was back of her just absolutely ignoring after she had promised that she would be there and make a contribution. We had talked at length about, what she was going to report and so forth and so on. And then when I called her that night, she said, well, I just didn't have a car at the last minute. And I thought about it a good bit, and I just sort of feel defeated. So I didn't know whether anybody else had had any repercussions.
Only thing I did was to call Miss Henley. I did call Miss Honeycutt because she'd been so interested in all and asked if she could ask her friends to be there in private duty. And of course she's not interested in being a chairman. She says she'd been persecuted and had all she could take. So I called Miss Henley. That's the only one that I did because she had the largest group of private duty nurses and told her that we needed 18 to form a quorum and that could she talk to some of her girls out there that we wanted to keep the section alive and regardless of oh, you want the call? Just put it up. Okay.
While we're talking about this, I thought that I would just stop and tell you, as of this moment, what we have done. We sent this notice out, says all officers of the private duty section, 5th District GSNA have resigned. And this went to the members who are now, the people who are now members, that's what I'm trying to say. Please attend the regular meeting of the section on April 24th at 4 p.m. so that officers can be elected, carry on the affairs of the private duty section, and have representation on the 5th District GSNA Board of Directors. And then the meeting will be held in Classroom 3, Crawford Law Nurses Home, and it's signed by me. We are doing this. We think this is the thing that we should do because, to be very frank about it, I believe if we didn't do something and the section, from the very fact that it has no officers, it can't function. It is no longer a section, really. And if we don't do something to try to get some officers and let it be dissolved, people in this group, I'm afraid, will be yelling, they closed the registry and now they dissolved the section. So we called this meeting, I called this meeting, and I will be there. And if anybody comes, which I hope they will.
What's the date on that?
It's the,
Thursday.
24th.
This Thursday.
That's their regular meeting date.
It's their regular day.
What time
And
is
they sent out a
At 4
notice,
o'clock.
you might tell them, they sent out a notice on that saying the regular meeting of private duty nurses, but did not indicate 5th District or Metropolitan Club.
it's
Supposed to be from their club.
What
Now-
time is that?
4 o'clock.
4 p.m.
Now, I want to say this, I, spoke with a parliamentarian about it, and I plan to go, and if anybody's there, we'll ask them to elect a temporary chairman, and then the temporary chairman will proceed according to their rules of electing officers. If no one will agree to serve as officers, or if no one comes, I think the question will be put in front of them. Then is it your desire that the section be dissolved? Now, we're not going to dissolve it. At least I feel that we should not dissolve it. If there's any hope at all, we don't want to push a section out. I think eventually we're not going to have sections, but as long as we do, we certainly don't want to dissolve something if we can help it. But I think the words need to be said by them if this section is dissolved. I'm sure all of you have been seeing the notices about the programs that the Private Duty Nurses Club are having. I've talked to some people that have been to them. They've been very good. And I think it's sad that so much energy is expended in the manner that it is, when this is what the association wanted all along, is for them to have some program meetings and to bring some of their nurses up to present day practices and so forth. But really, if you look at the information that comes to you as if they were saying, see, we can do it without you, and I'm afraid that's their attitude, because I think I told you before that the information that went out from them just almost in bold letters said, you do not have to belong to your professional organization to be a member of the registry that they have set up and to be a member of the Private Duty Nurses Club. I think it's sad that they felt they had to organize into a club, and when so many other things were offered. But anyhow, I wanted you to know what I should say what I plan to do, but I hope that is with your agreement that this is what should be done, is one more effort to try to get the section back.
Well, it seems to me that that would be a very, very reasonable thing to do. I'm interested to know how many this year private duty nurses.
160.
160, well, that's
Before
a
this-
good many.
Pretty
Of
good.
course,
And we got some 13 in today now. How many of them on second and third? I'll have to look again to see, but at least they're still coming in. I know Kate Hoppers came in with that group today.
Madam
And,
Chairman, I think that this 160 surely, to goodness, and I do know a few
13.
the private duty nurses. I think it might be nice for each one of us on the board to make some effort to contact some of these private duty nurses. I'm thinking of one that has talked with me several times about it, and she's real confused. I don't believe that a lot of these private duty nurses know what has gone on. I really don't think so. I haven't known myself, and she was asking me, and I said, well, I certainly think it's a shame that we don't have representation on the district board. And with that many private duty nurses, it is too bad. And I'm, since I have this information about your meeting on Thursday, I'm going to contact her. Maybe she, as a private duty nurse, one of the older ones that's been very active, maybe she can get a few that she feels that would make a good contribution to it and reorganize the section.
Thank you. I hope that all of you know people will try to get somebody.
I hate to be so stupid, but what prompted this action? I mean, I wasn't even aware that this had gone on.
Well, to go back a little ways, you know, we had to close the registry because actually we didn't have funds to run it. And over the past 2-3 years, we have, from private donations, been able to keep the registry open. And it didn't get any better, so finally we had to close it. And a committee was formed to try to move toward, to reorganize and try to move toward a community registry. And, well, they didn't want any part of a certain group, and I must say that because I don't believe this group really is the private duty section. It is only a part of it. And I think it's like a splinter group off of a main group. But they are vocal and they are determined. And they have established a club to own and operate a registry. Several things were suggested to them, but we could never get strong enough feeling from the users of private duty nurses and the private duty nurses themselves. We could not get anything strong enough to go to any type of community registry. Is that answer?
May I tell them this that came up this week? I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it, Ms. Armstrong. We got a call, I think I mentioned that about the cab, and got in contact through Miss Kate's office and Miss Parrott. They take care of the refresher courses for the practical nurses and help train them. But the manpower are training them, coordinating the patient sitters through the Red Cross. And she called me again this morning, and she said that she had heard about our community registry and wanted to know a little bit more about it, and that they had 100 patient sitters that they had screened them, but they had no way of following them through, and that how they were most interested in a community registry and would give their support, and asked that we send them the proposed one that had been circulated to see if they could give any assistance if and when the time came that that group of people would be represented on the registry.
Is any further? Anybody want to say anything else about what we're talking about?
Well, I just feel real encouraged that there are still 160 that have expressed their loyalty to the organization that are private duty nurses. I do realize, Ms. Burns was asking, that there was a great deal of bitterness. You know, Piedmont has had their own nurses registry, I guess, for a long, long time. And then when it became evident that because of finances that the Fifth District Register wasn't going on any longer. Other hospitals established private registries, I guess for that reason, or maybe other reasons. And then that precipitated, I mean, from where I stand, it seems to me that precipitated a great deal of bitterness, which isn't very easy to overcome, because people don't get married unless they're in love, and they don't stay married unless they're in love most of the time. And when they get divorced, why, then that's one thing. Well, I think there's a certain group that has gotten divorced from us, but if there are that many that are still loyal, then I think maybe the bitter ones, it really will take a while for it to subside, but I think it will come back.
Few of your bitter ones are members. The chairman, Ms.
Really?
Stedman, oh yes,
Wow.
they're ones that are doing the talking of renewing. You have at least 15 or 20 of the group. They have 87 on that registry if you're interested, and they've had some conflict in hospitals, I know of two, and that they have sent calls, and the hospitals had already called their own nurses. So
Just-
they're going to have to straighten that part out. I don't think.
Just one other thing, talking about the sitters, we do have approved, with the Emory call list, we do have a group of approved sitters, but that is just, of course, local for our own setup. So I was interested in the other part, too.
Are there further questions or discussion?
If at this meeting, could I say one more word, because I really am interested in this, and I think everybody here is interested in a community registry, if we could develop it. But it seems to me like the ones that I've talked with, or talked with me about this, is they were the ones that were not active in the district, were bitter toward the regulations on the registered nurses that went out under this proposed, or this regulations on the community registry as it affected the community. If they could be given maybe an opportunity or a challenge, it would be a challenge if the private duty nurses, if there were enough of them there at this April 24th meeting to maybe accept the challenge to work with the district to organize a community registry. Maybe that might, and let them know that it's not something that the district's trying to push over onto them, but the private duty nurses would be more concerned, and then all other health aides, if that could be a challenge to the private duty nurses that are really interested in the membership of the district. I hope that can come about.
Now, may we take action on these names that you have before you? Ms. Atkins informed us that these have not been to the board, to the committee, but they have been certified and they, as far as we can determine, are eligible for membership in the 5th District GSNA. So, are there any questions regarding any of the names as they appear?
They have payroll deduction programs from Grady and have been sent in through nursing service of Grady and accompanying checks. We've had two, one for 500 and one for 174.
Madam Chairman, I move that these people be accepted as members of the district.
Second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded that they be accepted as members of the GSNA. Any discussion?
I know that Mrs. Dorothy Newton has left the city. She was off on maternity leave and returned to just tell us that she could not come back to her duty, that she was going to live in Florida.
She'll probably transfer it to, if one of these, I think the dues are already paid with the check that came in Friday.
She'll probably
Oh.
want a nurse when she gets to Florida.
All those in favor of accepting these names as they appear, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
It's wonderful, though. All of those have done it pretty. Yes, these are all administrative things.
We, at our last meeting, recommended that to the membership that 5th District invite the state to hold its annual meeting in Atlanta. This was done, and we have officially, it has been accepted that we hold the meeting in Atlanta because of the lateness of the time and because there are many conventions in Atlanta. I took it upon myself to find a place to hold the meeting, starting with Convention Bureau and then going on my own to try to find a place. The state said they would prefer to have the annual meeting the week of October, starting on Wednesday, and I believe that's October the 14th through the 18th, or the week following. There are two big conventions in town at that time, which would take care of such places as the Marriott and the Regency. So there were a few other places that would be large enough to hold our meeting, and that was the Biltmore, the Riviera Motel, and the Cabana. I gave these names to Miss Ditchfield before the executive committee meeting last, and their preference was the Cabana because of its location, because it's very close to district headquarters. So then I went to the Cabana and talked with Ms. Keaton at the Atlanta Cabana, and we can have our meeting there on the week of starting the 14th. I'm sorry, I don't have a calendar right in front of me, but anyhow, it starts on Wednesdays and usually ends up for the business meeting on Saturday morning. Is it the 14th or 15th?
15th, 18th. The 14th is Tuesday.
And using last year's program to give her some idea of the space needed and so forth, we were able to determine that there would be enough space for, like banquets and meeting rooms. And since we have 6 sections, that always poses a problem too, to find a little meeting room. But anyhow, we do have a date set up at the Cabana. Then, this may be going at things backwards, but I figured that I just had to get a place, since we'd already invited them. I had to get a place for us to meet. So then I set about to try to get a local arrangements committee. And I would like to submit to you for your approval the names of several people who have agreed to serve on the local arrangements committee. And if you will approve them, I hope you will, because I begged them. I honestly did. And if I didn't have such a good boss, I might have been fired for not working for them, the boss. But anyhow, Roanne Ligon as chairman, Ms. Millie Burns, Ms. Nellie M. Rogers, Ms. Margaret Hasty, and Ms. Hortense Jenkins have agreed to serve as the local arrangements committee. What is your wish? Will you approve? I just plain ask you, will you approve these people?
I move that the slate of suggestions be approved.
I'll certainly
Second.
second the motion.
You want that in writing?
I don't think so. I think I have the privilege of appointing this committee, but I'd certainly like for it to be approved by the board.
Well, I think you've decided on a fine place.
The Cabana's real convenient. They have blocked out 100 rooms for us.
The Student Nurses Association last year, so they took that
You mean the cost?
on the reservation for the bank.
What?
That poor
You mean
little
money-wise? Is that what you're...
Poor little group still paying, I think, trying to get paid.
Well, this is gonna be a problem, I know that. But any of your places that can accommodate us in Atlanta is gonna cost us money. Well, if you've approved this committee, I can now give this stuff that I have here to Roanne Ligon. Is anything you want to ask about this? Because I do have information about facilities and so forth in here.
I was just thinking in terms of our last dinner meeting that we had there. And it turned out real well. That was about, what, 3 years ago, Kelly? 2, 3?
I think it's about 2 years.
Well, Jan Keaton is the little girl who's in charge of, I suppose, in charge of sales, and she was most cooperative when Miss Overton and I went over there to see about it. I am concerned about space for exhibits, but I think maybe we can work this out in some way. And I had a thought the other day that that being so close to the Red Cross has an auditorium, and if we have to, it wouldn't be too bad to have a meeting at the Red Cross, and I feel sure that they would let us. But this is as far as we could go at this time, because of course the meeting, the rest of the arrangements will have to more or less be depend on the program. And Mary Woody is chairman of the program committee and will be one of the persons that works with the local arrangements committee. Johnny McDaniel and Dorothy Knox, I believe, are the other two members of the state arrangements committee, and with Miss Overton. So I felt a little bit better when I got that much done.
Parking will be the biggest problem as I can think
I say
of.
they have 3 decks there.
Oh, yes, they have
Yeah.
tremendous
They have
parking.
good parking.
And then you have
I
nearby the
know,
Davis
mhm.
Brothers parking lot just on the next block, and you also have the medical academy down there that,
Mhm.
We
they're
asked
renting out for
about
parking.
that.
You did ask about it, well, that's what I was thinking.
The only thing I can't remember seeing, and I wasn't smart enough, I've never done it before, and it was to ask about exhibits, and just right on top of all this correspondence that I had and talking with Miss Keaton, I get a letter from Miss Ditchfield, and 2 or 3 people have already asked to be able to come and set up exhibits. So,
Do you think it might be possible to use the auditorium of the Red Cross?
I just had that thought the other day, knowing it was that close. I don't know. I think Bud probably, I imagine it could be if we need to. But,
I'll be right back.
okay. We won't do anything until you come down. Is there anything else about the convention? Anybody got a benefactor that would like to give a dinner the first night the girls are here? You know, Columbus and Rome just outdid themselves, and when you get to Atlanta, it's just hard to do.
Somebody might see Patterson's about it, he gave us buses for one of our, nurse night. I don't think Betches will give us anything anymore. We went down there about last year and talked to Mr. Richard Rich. And all of their monies have been given, appropriated for other things.
Well, if the committee gets busy, they may find somebody that would do it. But if you know of anybody, Roanne Ligon, I'm sure would like to hear from you.
Madam President?
Yes, ma'am.
I wonder if anybody else feels like I do, that I think maybe if we had a coffee or something like that, that would not be too expensive. But as far as other type of expenses, I was just wondering about us setting a precedent and discouraging going out and asking for favors from various and sundry groups, because we are presumably an adult professional group, and we should be able to bear our own expenses. I just really, this is just off the record, but I just very definitely feel that way. And I also feel that way when I go to smaller places, not that I don't appreciate all the things that they do, but I'd really rather and would feel more comfortable, without that having been done. But that's just me.
Madam President, after we had been royally entertained, I've forgotten where it was, then we met here at the Academy of Medicine, you remember that meeting, and we didn't do anything in the way of entertainment that year, and then when we went back out of Atlanta, back into the state the next year, the local ones there put it on as much as they have, and it seems that me and Atlanta almost have to now. So the second time we got by one time, but I feel like again that we'd really be
That was a
affected.
purely business meeting, though, because we just
Yeah.
integrated
There
that.
was no
throughout.
social activity.
That's what I say,
Uh-huh.
and we didn't do anything in soliciting among the local businesses, so forth, from door prizes.
The industrial nurses usually have real good contacts where they get
Miss
people.
Wood
I
is
remember,
very good about, the
Frida
grocery.
Green,
people,
you
the
know,
wholesale
used to
grocers, but
have her
she's unhappy with us
sugar
about the
refinery
economic
was at
security.
who
Uh-huh, in
always,
Savannah.
Participate, she's not a member.
Well,
She's
there's
just
not
chairman
much
membership last year.
among as it used to be, because our center is not active anymore like it used to be. That's all.
but there's still industrial nurses around, isn't
Well, we have, in the state, last year we had 80 some, around 90, I believe, that are members of GSNA.
Mhm.
There are about twice that many who are active who are not members of GSNA. We locally have only 29, here in the district that are members of GSNA.
You notice that we have a real fine committee, I think, on here. Maybe they can come up with something. And I volunteer you and me to help with it.
Is that nice of me? We expect that.
Well, see, I won't have to. I'll be out of office. Another bit of business, and I'm going around this first one. We voted, both in the board meeting and in the regular meeting, to pledge, I think that's the word, $10 per member, toward the building fund. I had a little note from the chairman in which she states, I hope I've got it with me, that, like Carolyn, I can never find anything else. I think I come with it. Well, anyhow, she stated, she went back to the convention last year in which this was, here it is, mentioned. As you know, the GSNA, an annual meeting at Rome on November the 1st, unanimously adopted Plan 2 submitted by Bull and Kennedy Architects for enlarging headquarters. This plan called for construction of additional to the headquarters of 1,280 square feet of space, air-conditioned, at a cost of $20,500. The annual meeting voted further to proceed with Plan Number 3 in the event that it was not possible to go ahead with Plan 2. Plan Number 3 calls for renovation and air conditioning of the existing headquarters at a cost of $18,000. At the annual meeting, a suggestion of $10 donation from each member was made. A total of $935 was collected at that time. The headquarters committee apologizes for not keeping you informed as to your district's progress toward this goal. However, we promise you quarterly reports in the future. Presently, your district has contributed $269, which is 3% of your membership at the time of the convention. We appreciate your cooperation and urge you to go forward toward putting your district on the gold brick list 100% for $10 a member. Now, we voted to do this, and the thing now is how are we going to do it? I believe the motion which was made did not specify, if I'm right. South Carolina.
This includes the money we collected from the floor at
Yes,
convention.
that's
that
the
$10.
$269 was what we collected that day from our
Yeah.
area.
Thank God we paid it. I couldn't pay it.
The Fifth District membership pledged $10 per member to the CSNA Building Fund. This was what was, voted.
My idea was when I made the motion that each member would be canvassed through the mail originally be canvassed through the mail, and certainly I think we all need somebody to kind of encourage these kind of things.
Couldn't we do a little gold brick and send it
I
in
think
with
that
our
would be
May
nice.
meeting? I brought this along for this. Now, the associates out there are having a dinner to get $10 for nursing scholarship. We'll have a big program and the dinner and so forth. And I think this one word here kind of gets you off. Evidently, I have an idea, this Mr. Don Henderson out there that helped to do the brochure on the School of Nursing. But then he comes along and tells you about the dinner, $10 per person, and get your tickets there. And then he down here, he says, baby, I can't make it, but I'm all for the cause. Enclosed, please find my check for blank for the nursing scholarship fund. So he's using little catchy expressions on there, and I just wondered if y'all wanted to do your gold brick on here. And some of the girls said they'd be willing to sell hot dogs and other things at the meeting the other day. You weren't there, but they were all in favor of getting out and bringing it before the public and see if they couldn't go ahead and stimulate a little interest on a building fund. If you'd like this to go out now, we're gonna have to send our meeting around the 1st of May, you know, for our May meeting. Then May the 8th, it'll have to go out, very definitely. So we'll have to do some planning quickly now. If you wanted to send out a form in which they could go ahead and send the pledge here, or if you wanted to send it directly to GSNA.
Since it is not specified as to how we go about this, would this not be, or would this be the responsibility of the Finance Committee?
I don't know how effective that's gonna be. Our chairman hadn't even contacted her, so I don't know who she is, and if you don't have any, well, I know her name, but I don't know who she is, and she hasn't contacted the membership about anything since she's been elected. I mean, the committee.
Maybe the membership committee and, program committee, since they're meeting, do you think they might, I don't
This
know
seems
about-
like the most
This
effective
is
way
a
right
building
here,
fund.
since this has gotta go out in the
Might-
mail.
Might
Maybe
get
the
some
next
more
2 weeks.
interest in membership if you,
We'll have to have it by May 1st because the meeting being May 8th.
Of course, I think you're gonna get the same problem from a lot of the members that, quote, "Fifth District is always asking for more money for something, because
Well, the
I..."
whole state's being asked for this according to Rome Convention.
Yeah, well, I know, when we did this on the floor and everybody was so enthusiastic about it.
How about her letter on that? Could we use that letter and put the gold brick at the bottom and let them cut it off and send it back in? I
It
mean,
might be good to know
just
that it
not-
came
just
from
let
the
'em see
state
a report.
convention.
oh, see, it can be reproduced. It can be reproduced and then not say anything about it. Let that conscience be their guide if you want to. And that'd make the others feel that they feel bad if they haven't done any part on that.
I would still put a little form down the bottom, put
Oh,
the application, like, you know, like a pledge
Mhm.
card.
Well, that'd be
Oh,
good, so
yes,
they don't come from
and
the state.
If you want to
On
go
the
ahead and
brick,
say
put a
what
little
Fifth
brick.
District had done, you know, and enclose this in there, and put this copy for information. I mean, I'm really
This
asking
brick
what
will
you'd like to
backfire if
do.
you don't
Like
put
on
your
one page,
$10
it said,
in.
"Hey, this so mean."
A hard
Well, you
brick.
would do that, you could slip that up, and put it down at the bottom and let it be perforated down there,
given that day.
and let them cut it off and send it in.
The gold brick.
get a little, let her let her cut out one and make the gold brick out of it if she can for us. She got some new
All
equipment.
said and done.
As, do I hear you saying that you believe that the thing that we should do at this point is to send some communication to the membership regarding this, and since they've used the gold brick idea, use this. Carolyn is very ingenious, I'm sure she can get it.
I wish I knew who this person was. Maybe I can call Don Henderson and see if he can do something for us. He's in advertising, in publicity.
At least we can start with this. Is
Do you
this
need
all
a
right?
motion
We
on
can-
it? I think that would be
Say
good.
fine.
I don't suppose you need an emotion, because whatever you do, of course, it's gonna cost money, but,
Well, we
If
have to
it's
send the
sent-
mail in anyhow on the first
Well, I
because the
move
date had to
that
be
this be
announced of the
included
meeting.
then.
So as long, it takes $60, as long as we send it, we might as well utilize it.
yeah. But I move that this be done,
Besides the time, and we have to sort all the mail, you know, it takes about 2 days to do it, Nancy. We have to do it according to zip code.
you I second the motion.
Been moved and seconded. And we
That is great.
included our, May mailing.
You're right. That we include,
In our May mailing,
you state it now.
That's all I can go.
Including the May.
What you said.
Including our May
I'm
mailing.
glad we're
You
so.
want a
A
pledge
pledge
card?
card, a pledge card for
A,
the
a
GSNA
pledge card.
Building Fund.
And then, another point, will it go directly to the GSNA, or will it come back to the 5th District and then be transferred and blocked to the GSNA?
Actually, it should go
Fifth District, go to the 5th District.
Either way, they'll give us credit with it, wouldn't
Sure.
Yeah, 'cause
Let
she's
it
already
die.
told
Let
us.
it go on to the state over there,
Why
they've got more
not?
bookkeepers than we have. And, I'm gonna try to get caught up where we are and get, I'm not trying to put anything off on them.
Well, that'd be one less transaction that
Yeah.
had to be made.
Where it's mail and
It'd
everything
be
else.
much simpler just to
Have
send it
Fifth
to
District
state.
on the
Mhm.
bridge,
Mhm.
so they'll know where it's coming from. Well, thank you, I think,
You
we
wanna let-
didn't vote on it, and there was a motion. All those in favor of Derice's motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. I ain't never been put your parliamentary.
Oh.
We have the letter. I think, do you agree with me that it lets them know who's head of the building fund? I didn't know. And it lets them know too that they're counting on us. And if we just go ahead and put a pledge card down here and in the form of the brick and try to make it attractive, that should say no. I mean, do we say $10 per member? It's already said up in the beginning.
We'll
there.
say it again on the
Yeah.
paper. People don't read everything, I don't.
If we've already paid it, Karen, what you want us to do, is put a note on there, you already have it.
We've already generous.
Yeah.
That was it rolling,
I
Mrs.
think I wrote
Atlanta.
a check that day.
Sure, try to live off
I can't
$100
remember.
a
I'll
month.
look in my checkbook and see. I believe I did.
Thank you.
Put the amount on the brick.
I might tell you, Miss Monaco has moved out to Executive Park. She's consolidated now, yet for a while she was doing it on her own, and not a good business manager, but a wonderful person that kept us alive, and we helped keep her alive, because she was almost going to lose her business, and 10 of her customers gave $100 preliminary order, you know, I mean, advanced order is what I'm thinking for, until she survived. Well, anyhow, the man that invented the Safeguard, which is a very big place, they've gotten now a $2 million business started, and she's in a beautiful building out of the Executive Park. They've just bought a $6,000 collator, a $5,000 perforator, and a great big beautiful old press, offset that she can print the whole page. So we're going to try to get our directory printed more economically. They've gone up on our little old memo pads. It used to be $10, gone up to $13.
And the perforator.
So, any rate, she has all kinds of things now that she may color and perforate and do. I think she's an artist, so maybe she'll stick something for us.
Now, another matter that I think we must make some decision about is the ballot. The usual procedure is for information to go to the sections, and that the sections at their meetings give to the members the officers to be elected in the state and in the district. This was done at the proper time, and we had a few replies back. But I believe that certainly there were not enough to have 2 for each office to be elected. There is another thing that concerns us at this time, and that is that according to the bylaws, certain things should be done at a certain time. And you got the bylaws. I'm stammering for want of the time that this has to be done. In other words, even if we had not had the meeting today, which is early, even if we had it at our regular time, and these names, which we do have, had been given to the nominating committee, she would have had only about 4 days, I believe, to get a ballot to bring to us to approve. So I'm not real sure where we are at this moment, because we have the time element written into the bylaws, and the names that have been submitted have not gone to the nominating committee, because we haven't heard from some of them that were suggested. So I'm asking you what you think we should do. You know that if the ballot does not have 2 names for each officer to be elected, then I believe it is the responsibility of the board to complete this ballot. So it would seem to me that since not even enough names have been submitted to us to complete the ballot, that this might be a function that we should take at this time, is to at least get 2 people for each office.
Maybe they'd like to have a quick resume of the people we've notified and haven't heard from, and maybe, would the group like to do that?
Well, let me
who
first
is it?
ask
All
our
right.
parliamentarian if she reads the bylaws in this manner. In other words, it is our responsibility to approve, and it is our responsibility to fill if the nominating committee does not have two names for each office to be elected.
Madam President, what responsibility would the nominating committee have? Of course, whatever names are sent in from the sections, they would have that to go on. If there were not enough, then would they have some responsibility to try to fill those places, and then later with the board's approval for the total slate?
They have that permission to do, to fill
Uh-huh.
it.
The nominating
But their
committee
deadline
certainly
is
would
up,
have
apparently.
they have
A
until May the
responsibility.
1st responsibility.
They have till May 1st to do it.
Mhm.
They haven't finished
It
it.
seems
They
like
need to
that
do
would be part of their basic function to me.
Seems like all the nominating committees I've ever been on, that,
I talked to Ms. Mann about it, and,
Is it Myra?
about 2 weeks ago, Myra Mann, and she will meet. We tried to follow the directions and having them here, and we gave our group time to get them back and to have the biographical sketches, and hope to be able to go ahead and have a meeting and have it approved in May, at the May meeting, and be in order. But we still like presidents. I'll wait till you finish speaking.
Well, I think the question I am asking is this, and I probably confused you by the way I rambled about it. The May meeting, the Committee on Nominations should submit to us a ticket for our approval. And having this meeting early, they haven't had an opportunity to prepare a ticket.
Well, could we have like a referendum vote or something after they finish preparing it? Would this be
I think
in
this
order?
is the question I want y'all to decide.
But this, may I say something, this right here, they are to prepare and present it at the May meeting, board meeting. Now, it's what they have, they will present. Now, if you were hoping they'd have any number of names and they were gonna have to pick and choose between the two,
But they didn't.
is what you were hoping for. Now, in the event they do not have it and can't get it by that time, then the board at this May meeting, you see, would fill that ticket. They would complete the ticket, in other words, at the May meeting. Now, this is it, what she's asking you, don't you think it would be better to let the nominating committee at least have this time to see what they do, and then if need be, let the board complete the ticket later if you have to.
Yeah.
We'd have to call a special meeting to do
It'd
that.
have to be a special meeting of the board to complete the ticket.
I'm sorry I confused, I caused all this trouble about the board meeting in May.
Madam President, will we to make a move that we have a call meeting for the purpose of approving the ticket?
Yes, now,
We don't,
you don't have
we
to
don't know if
approve it,
it's
it's
necessary
submitted
yet.
to the board. But so that you will know that they have the ticket, in other words, this is what it's for. Who they have, it's they're the ones that make up the ticket. In the event they have vacancies, then the board fills it, completes the ticket, but you do not have to approve who they're bringing in. I mean, in other words, you don't say, well, yes, we have to vote on this ballot, you see, I mean, this ticket, as you're presenting it. They're presenting it to you so that you know who it is. But in the event of that it is not complete, then you must complete it.
Well, could we, then, just have a call meeting at a time that is appropriate?
Well, she would automatically do that.
Is that what you told me?
You would automatically do that, don't need a motion, no.
And present it.
Just presented it to
Well,
me.
I believe what Ms. Lewis is saying is that if they can fill the ticket, we would not have to have a call meeting.
Well, if it's, I don't really need a motion or not, but I would say let them have the time between now and 1st of May to complete it. And if
Well,
they don't
they
complete
use
it,
more
I'll
time
work
than
it
that.
out for us.
If,
Can we?
Well, now, are they aware of this? Do they know this? Yeah.
I told her as soon as, we had our deadline for the 18th, which was this Friday, to get in your biographical sketches, and the thing said on or before May 1st, you know. So I had planned to give it to them by that time, and she talked about it, well, as soon as you get it, see, I had hoped to get it and have it ready by today or tomorrow, and give her that list.
Well, somebody might need to
Comply
call
with that.
mine and just remind her.
Well, we
that
will.
Right,
Well,
she
the
has-
trouble is, we ought to at least give her 1 or 2 for president and so forth. So I thought after your meeting today that we'd go ahead tomorrow and send the list that we have that has been completed. And if they may complete it, then there would be no reason for your meeting. You would approve a ticket presented by the nominating committee. Is that all understood?
Let's hope they can complete the ticket then.
Right.
If they can complete the ticket, we will not call a special meeting. If we do call it, it will be to complete the ticket. Right? Okay.
Enough. I think that's fine.
Carolyn, were you, thinking that this group might, propose some names to the nominating committee as the executive board?
You said you could, you were supposed to fill it in anyhow if they don't do it. So since we don't have anybody for them to go on, let me tell you, Carol Waters, I'll follow that up. She did not give us a change of dress, and after I found out that was who it was, see, it was submitted another name. Her name is Carolyn, and she is from DeKalb General. And I will go ahead and call her to see, because it may be she never received a letter. Now, Ms. Cates, I think you still have the letter, so I'll need that back for the committee. Says she'll serve on 1 or 2 of the other committees, but not as president since she goes into a new position. And we still need for president, we've got a suggestion here from Public Health from Ms. Gladys Garland. We're waiting to see what Ms. Garland's going to say about that, hopefully. And then we have Helen Pemberton on the vice president. She said at first she would accept it, and then later she said no, that she'd concentrate on your section and build up there, and she felt she couldn't do quite as much. Now, Ms. Kate said that she would go on either one of those others if they wanted to. A letter, maybe the nominating committee would do it. We don't have another person for treasurer. Sister Christian agreed. And out of the directors, the people we haven't heard from Lucille Hill or Roanne Liggum. Miss Adams, Jewett Adams accepted, Rose McKee accepted, and Sally Shirley. We haven't heard from Ramona Andrews or Irvin Burns. So we ought to have 6 if we have 2 for each office player.
Well, I'll speak to them tomorrow.
Fine, well, that's why I felt if we talked to some of these people, maybe they'd go ahead and send it in. Now, we do have people that said they'd serve on committees, Diane Jolly, Barbara Jean Vogel, and Louise Menuzek, M-E-N-O-U-S-E-K, Menuzek. And she says she will also accept any office, so that's one that they can rely on. but we still need,
Well, let me ask
President.
you something, go ahead, Skip.
Miss Waters is no longer at DeKalb General.
I know that.
Yeah, and I understood she was no longer in nursing.
Well, she's still a member of the district, active member. Her dues have been paid because, I checked the call, and I didn't know which one we had. The name was given to us as Carol, and I believe her name was Carol, I know maybe it's vice versa, but at any rate, we found in checking the A&A on your section the other day that she had moved from Club Drive. And then, you see, I haven't sent a letter elsewhere because I expected that to be the correct one, and I haven't heard from her.
Carol, on Pauline, Miss English resigned, did Meryl Lott move up? I mean, I got lost on that.
Yes, she will move up to first vice president.
I see. So well, I was wondering about Miss Gamage, her director's position
sure does.
expires, and why don't we give her something else to
I have to finish school next year, and I'm gonna get through it if it kills me.
Well, you'll be a second vice president.
Oh, Carolyn,
That's program. That's program.
that
That's
sure
right
is,
there.
No, let me have a year's rest, please.
Miss Armstrong, do you stay on in any capacity? Could you run as director, or
She's
you
gonna
stay
be
on
on
the board?
as a director.
Oh, good.
We have hers and Juliet Adams, Rose
Oh, well, I
McKee,
missed that one.
Shirley, Sally Shirley. And then on the chairman of committee of nominations, we do have two for that. Myra Mann has not answered. She's moved and probably hadn't even gotten our notice if they didn't forward it. Esther Pierce and Kathy Jacobs did consent.
Chairman can serve more than one chair.
Yes, and this is,
Sure.
We do need a president.
Sure.
y'all do look.
Ms. Garland, President.
President Garland. One, you've got about 5 or 6 public health nurses on the board already.
That's all right.
And I think this is gonna be just as slanted as it has been in 30 years ago. Last 30 years. If we get loaded with public health, just like we were loaded the last 30 years
What
with
happened? Anything
another
wrong?
section.
Nothing happened, did it?
Oh, I think a lot happened.
Not with public health group.
How
I
about a
mean.
private duty
Now,
nurse?
I'd love to see somebody besides public health
Miss Honeycutt.
Sister Kristen,
as
why don't you
president. I really
President,
would.
since we all know your philosophy and your platform so well.
She's already been asked, Ms. Cammett, she was suggesting.
You said, I think you've got about 5 from Fulton County on there. See,
They have all
this is the
answered.
thing.
No,
but
Lynn,
you've got.
You only have 2 that have answered for directors, that's Ms. Armstrong and Juliet
Yeah.
Adams.
And you've got
2
Carol
from the
Rittenhouse.
EACs.
You've got Darius Hanson, all from Fulton County.
Well, I'll be off in
Now, this is
August.
slang.
That's for sure. That'll be a help.
Not good.
Your argument's not that strong.
You're not listening.
No, I think Miss Garland's argument is pretty good because
Well, I've heard the other groups.
on the 24th is Thursday, maybe if you have a meeting in the private duty section, it might really
Try
be
Miss
a
Waters.
challenge to them to get
Well, we
some
need 2.
people, nominations to
For directors.
give to you right then.
I'd like to see someone from DeKalb County or some of the other counties, Fulton counties. I mean, not only public health, but Fulton County has taken this lead
Right.
now for so long.
That's the way it is with the public health section.
What about Bernice Dixon?
She was not suggested on the
State
screen.
director.
Filled up with.
She's probably got so much to do
She's on
she
the
can't
state.
see straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew she was.
And membership chairman too is part of her duties, isn't it?
Well,
You think this,
Yes. All right. Now then, the next order of business is to appoint a committee on elections, and since this is a new committee, I would assume that this committee on elections, is that in there? Tell me what they're supposed to do.
Presidential vice chairman of the committee, a complete list of members eligible to vote 40 days prior to the annual meeting. Election commission check the names of the names of those being mail ballots. And then 30 days preceding the annual meeting, the ballots will be mailed.
Is this what the committee has to do? In other words, they have to, stuff the ballots.
And
Check them first and then stuff them.
Oh, seems like we just got through stuffing ballots,
Now
didn't we?
the state, here, now we must do it again.
And the audits we already have, don't we?
See, doesn't seem that long ago.
Well, it would seem that this, would not
It's
be
just a reprint
too much
file,
of
correct.
a job.
These new ones. 'Cause afterwards, and they left out the word
We do
treasurer
have a
here
number of
in the odd year.
members in fifth district that these must be sent to. But, do you know anybody who would like to volunteer to be on the committee on elections? This is really ridiculous.
When would this have to be done?
The
At
annual
least
meeting
30
is in
days.
September, so it would have to be 30 days, it would be early part of August or the last part of July.
Where would it be done?
What do you
Prior
think?
to the annual meeting. I mean, at Disney headquarters or?
No, fifth district.
Right now, you don't have but 827 members, so if you don't get more members, you won't have very many to check. It won't be too bad, because I send out 1,000 in one day, I mean, do myself
You
and
have them
stuff.
alphabetical anyhow, so it'd be simple to
Oh,
check it.
won't be, and we have the punch cards on them, and,
Let's see, we have
Some volunteer to
Ms. Langford is very fine.
Carolyn, if I'm in town, I'll help, but I'm not gonna be here the first week of August, and if you do it before then,
well, let's put it down on there.
just call me, I'll be glad to help you if I'm here.
Really, this in October.
But that's the only time I'm gonna be gone during the summer, is the first week of August.
I'm gonna take my vacation with everybody's consent in June, so I'll have a month of July with no meetings, and can get in there and get the work done that needs to be done in clearing out those files.
We have two, girls who have, said they would serve on the committee of elections.
See, I can address them in 2 hours, our entire membership. The time that takes time is when we do them, is assorting them into the zip code, and that isn't too involved, because when I get out the meter, I get out the whole thing by myself, with no help.
At least 3, because I shall be happy to help.
Well, I'll help.
Ms. Fitzpatrick.
We can work together again, Miss Fitzpatrick, we're pretty good stuffers. I tell you, we got a system going.
Yeah, I'm not a member though.
Who you want to be chairman on this, Ms. Langford?
Ms. Langford?
And
So she
stuff.
can be the one to call the meeting.
We don't have one of those machines.
check
It won't, as long as it won't be his name.
Well, as long as Carolyn's there, it won't be.
Thank you so much,
You get your.
for this.
About
Keep us
qualified.
We have a few notes here, and I skipped it a minute ago when we, but I'd like for the secretary to read the note.
There are 3 acknowledgements of expressions of sympathy, one from the family of Mr. Ralph McGill, the other from the family of Mabel Corsell, and from the family of Gordon F. Jones. This is from Genevieve Jones.
And we did go by Mr. Jack Spalding and sign the book there. I imagine we just had too many. He was hit a bit farther down there. That's when we told our
We have a resignation also from Sister Fable from the membership committee, but, I don't think we have to do anything about that other than, we don't, just leave it down there, Mary. I'm sorry.
3 strikes and you're...
Yeah. Other than thank her, we do appreciate her serving up to this time. Is there any further business? It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. We are adjourned. Thank